of immortals, capable of mistakes. The journey's not here to be agonized upon.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Mere Mortals Monthly Goals. Indeed, it is where your two favourite Mere Mortals, Kyrin here,
and Juan over here,
and Juan on the other side, are live here on the 27th of April 2024. We're live everywhere. I have managed to get us live on YouTube and onto the podcasting app. So in the future, I would encourage you to join in. I do have social posts on Discord and Twitter and places like that. And if you're subscribed on YouTube, you should get a thing. Juan's video won't be showing up, but that's okay because you only need to see my beautiful face anyway. The monthly goals is where we talk about, it's pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. Talk about the goals that we had in April of 2024. Some support from everyone who's been boosting in and helping to support the show. What's coming up for May of 2024? Maybe a little bit of fitness stuff, and yeah, that'll kick us off. So we'll start off with our little recap as usual. Juan, take it away. How was your April 2024?
Looking at it from the monthly goals perspective, not clinically, not great, not fantastic. Percentage-wise, 67%.
Did he read the damn book?
Score out of 100? No. And I would say that, did I read the book? Yes. And I'm referring here to the French book that I have, Le Petit Prince. Did I read some of it? I did. Did I read more than I've been reading in the past? Because I changed my trajectory in the way of, hey, stop worrying about how it actually looks on how I'm actually noting it down. So it did improve the way that I was reading. However, I really had this idea of just reading it more consistently. So that's goal 2 that we're talking about right now, of reading that book. And I didn't do it. I just didn't do it enough to really say, hey, no, I delivered on that goal. I did read a lot more of other books. So interestingly enough, for those who don't know, we do a book review channel as well. I'm Immortals Book Reviews. And I'm probably on pace to reading maybe a book a fortnight at the moment, which is, I'm like, wow, I haven't done this for a little while. So it's been good. But yeah, the particular book, the tactic worked. I just haven't been actually doing it. So I gave myself a no. This one was an interesting one. When I wrote the carrying out the recovery protocols at the gym, first goal that I had was the original one that I had when I was going to EMF and I was using the cold plunge and everything else. And just turn off the tables of what was going on. I ended up kind of cancelling from the gym. So I did use the protocols as much as possible. And I did keep going in terms of I bought a massage gun and I still use that every now and again, plus some other protocols at the gym. So look, I'm going to say, yes, I did. I carried out the protocols. I do more stretching as well that I've been doing in the past. So I go, yep, cool. Tick that off. The quarterly BAS and calculating numbers for business, yep, done.
BAS,
the food
what is
automation
BAS?
potential. Something adjustment. Business adjustment.
There's no idea.
I don't even know. Business adjustment something. Do you know what it stands for?
No, of course not. I just find it hilarious that it's tax related and and it's in your goals and you have no idea what it means.
Oh yeah, I just know that in Australia that's what it stands for. But I even do a quick little.
Means the government wants your money.
It's activity. Business activity statement. That's what it stands for, folks, if you ever wanted to know. If you needed to know that. But the reviewing the food automation potential, nah, not really. I looked into it, but I didn't put enough of an effort into it. Like I started playing around with it. I looked at some companies, looking at meat delivery and a few other things, but just got carried away with other things. Didn't proceed with it. And then the last 2 was removing unnecessary time on others, key relationship, physical and digital. Yes, absolutely. Did do this quite a bit, which freed up a lot of other time to waste on just Instagram.
Nice.
So I'd say half wasted on Instagram, half more energy went into the podcast. So you'll see that.
You did post a lot. I appreciate
some of the book review stuff that comes up over the next couple of weeks. But also, it did give me more time to be at home and doing other things. And then the other one was planning my big fun dream and tell no one but my family. So I'll take it. Yes, it got discussed. It got shared. There wasn't a planning is a very loose term. Planning was a very loose term. More imagining, let's just say, than planning or for building it. But there was a lot of good combos, I think, over April that I had in terms of on the podcast for conversations that flourished the idea. Plus, I've met now a second person in Melbourne who has basically created almost exactly what I wanted to create. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So I'm connecting with him at the moment to kind of get an idea of how he's doing the thing. So anyways, it was pretty good. It was really good month. Interspersed with just a crazy amount of things through April, which obviously doesn't go down on the April goals. But yeah, much the same. It was a good April. It was good.
Beautiful. Well, crazy was how I would describe my month as well. So the first, you'd think like, oh, well, it would have been crazy from the 4th onwards. That's when he was actually traveling to Brazil. But no, those 3 days beforehand, I had zero time to do anything really other than pack and plan. So my one goal was allow yourself to be optimistic, flirty, happy, and playful. I didn't even have to look at this or think of this. I think the change of scenery has just been really good for me. Just being somewhere new, it's very different. It's very different from how I used to travel, which was more the backpacker lifestyle. You go in place, you're always packing up. You're always like looking for a new place to eat or something. I was only just now looking up, what's the typical Brazilian food, for example. Whereas I would have done that, 4 weeks ago, if I was in the same sort of travel mindset I used to be. But what I have done, I have visited Sao Paulo, Londrina here, Cianorte, Bauru, and Manduri now. So that's like, I've seen 5 different cities, I guess. All thanks so much to Lucas. Like he's been my guardian angel, guiding me to places, taking me, everywhere, showing me things. So he's the main man. All props go to him. But yeah, I have just been having a really good time, and just thinking less about some things, like thinking less about how mum's going, and it's good and bad because it makes me feel like a shit child, but it's also like, what can I do? Nothing. It just makes me miserable thinking about that whole situation. So, yeah, it's kind of it's been good to just get a little bit of distance.
Yeah, I don't think you can look at it that in a negative sense. I think it's almost whatever you do that's already occurring. There's a lot of, especially in your scenario, right? There's not what can you control about it? Really, not much.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can either worry about it or you can do other things. And so that's kind of where you sit.
Correct. But yeah, there's those little lingering thoughts, but they're not too much. You'll see, I guess, in my goals coming up, I suppose more of what I want to do whilst I'm here now. So now that I've got a place, I don't really want to move the camera around, but I've got a room, I've got my stuff lined up over here. I can see my razor, my other razor for my head, my bald, beautiful head. We'll talk more about that soon in the next Mere Mortals episode. I got my things stacked. Everything's nice and in place. So now I'm just just gonna do some more things, and I'll talk more about my fitness. More talk coming up. So we'll leave it there for the moment, and jump on to
plenty of talk to come.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's talk. Let's just give a shout out to some of our supporters. So as usual, I haven't done the April goal, the April full tally yet because we haven't reached the end of April. But I've got the last 6 months up on your screen now. If you're watching both on YouTube and on a decent podcasting app where you can see chapter art, and it's kind of small. Hopefully you'll be able to zoom in. But essentially, what I've seen is pretty consistently on average we're earning about 500 to 600 Australian dollars every quarter. So that's about $2,000 a year. And the Satoshi amount of that varies based on Bitcoin price. So it is interesting to see that, when people adjust their donation amounts based on how much Bitcoin is worth as well. So it's not like we could just have like 3 supporters donating, like Dave Jones sending in 12,000 in 5-10 years time when 12,000 sats is like, $3,000 or something. No, it's probably not going to be like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really encouraging.
Speaking of just of Dave, have you heard from Dave at all?
Not particular. I want to reach out to him because I've been here 3 weeks now. So if I was going to if everything goes according to plan in 3 months' time, I'll be in Nashville and flying into right around where he is. So I was going to reach out to him again and just be like, yo, if you felt like doing a road trip, Dave, I'd be up for that, because it's only a 2 or 3 hour drive from his home up to Nashville. So yeah, I'll reach out to him. I'm going to reach out to him. But yeah, I'm still tuning in on to Podcasting 2.0. He's been doing, it's tax season time over there, and he works in a data center for, I think, a tax accounting firm or something. So he's been very busy. Busy boy.
Oh, busy times.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to call out? Anything special?
Well, the only thing I just wanted to double check. You can hear me still okay? I've just changed up the setup here. I've got the microphone. I was just again thinking through of. I guess this is probably good with the monthly goals. Ways that we can connect more value to people and in turn help us grow as a podcast, as what we're doing. I've been playing around with a couple of ideas. I mean, I'll drop something here because we don't really get a chance often between myself and Kyrin now to discuss more, strategic things and the like. But I'm really thinking through at the moment on, can we provide better value by maybe sort of like a Chris Williamson style. He has 100 books that you must read. Yeah, something like that would be absolutely even more attuned to the fact that we do book reviews. Do we put together a list like that to, again, help more value, bring more people into our sphere, help people connect more, start to see how they can support us predominantly through this sort of support model of sending through boostergram and Satoshis. So I think we talked about this at the start of the year in 2024. We're like, hey, this is the year. We're gonna make some big moves and big changes. That might look like introducing more things and more value that we can provide to individuals who are tuning in, or just in other various formats, right? But again, the people that do support us today and continuously, as you mentioned, hey, not a whole lot, but it does help the podcast continue. So we do really appreciate the support that people provide to the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the other thing was just appreciate them sticking through the what would you call it? Chaos, I guess. I must have been smoking crack to think that I would continue the Value for Value show whilst I was here. It's just so, I underestimate how much effort that show took. Like it really did require a lot of prep and planning, which I kind of knew, but I was like, I'll just be able to do that here. But then it's like, oh, okay, well, do I spend that 6 hours prepping?
I think the only way you could have almost done it, but it's live too. That's what makes it even more. I was thinking the only way you almost could have continued it would have been not making it live,
and just doing a whole bunch of episodes.
Like a producer. And then getting a producer somewhere else to do it potentially at a more real time. But man,
I'll shift it all onto Cole. Cole, you read out these quotes and also do the whole thing, and I'll put you in for a 20% split. Yeah, no,
it'll just be Kyrin doing. It'll just be Kyrin doing the talking of a book, and then Cole doing the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly. No, but we do appreciate everyone who has boosted in, and once again, if you want to check out where you are on the tally of accumulating a shirt, 100,000 Satoshis sent into us, and we'll send a shirt your way. meremortalspodcast.com/support, and that also explains how you can do that if you are so inclined, so desired. It's very very desirable t-shirt.
While you're talking about this t-shirt as well, I was just going to say something else with the podcast, well, the website in particular. I'm going to, for anyone who's listening to this right now, I'd want to get your input. If you have seen the website and used our website, would you say that it would be any benefit to have it revamped? Revamped in the sense of, so this is the other thing I was thinking about, Kyrin, was, again, we have a truckload of content that we've created now over the past years, especially with book reviews, accounts and everything. Will it be worth revamping the website so that it has a lot more written content, right? And that can be in the format of I'm going to be transparent, leveraging ChatGPT or something AI to translate a lot of the book reviews that we've done into just quick little summations or something to that effect. Is that at all valuable to anyone who's listening to this right now? Let us know, because I don't want to put any effort, right, or even talk about it.
Yeah.
But if someone out there goes like, hey, you know what? It would be cool to have that in your website, then cool. Again, I'm just trying to understand what is going to be valuable for people and what isn't. And look, we're being, I think, more talking through about what's the best ways to connect with individuals and provide, what channels it is that we use. I think more and more something that me and you probably have heard both in the past is like, hey, what's really powerful is having a subscriber list, right? Because you can kind of take that wherever you want to go. I'm almost thinking, again, thinking back to that, what's the best way that we can help you guys out, people who are listening, the Immortalites, that we can also then bring you along the journey and all the various things that we start to do over the many years to come.
I'll talk to you more sometime about ActivityPub and the Fediverse, so which are threads, for example, is part of that, or kind of that Facebook release. But Mastodon is the one I've personally been using for like 3 or 4 years now, because that's where the podcast index people hang out, and it's a very similar idea of an account being created and it can just move everywhere. So there's some things once again coming down the pipeline in the future which might be useful, but that was the same with live, and here we are now. We're live on the podcast app, so if someone sends in a boost right now, we'll get that real time.
Exactly. I'll save it for later, to be honest. I'll save it the other piece I was going to say for meanderings, if you want to tune into that. But yeah, so a lot more around that.
Yeah, for me, the front page, the only thing, our front page, I actually don't like that much, but the thing I would change was have some indication of what times we go live, and that being updated automatically to their time zone wherever they are. A link to that they could click on easily, and then maybe just like a quick explanation of like the various different shows, because at the moment it's just like this big, long, huge scrollable page. But yeah, I've had that thought for a while and just haven't acted on it because I could not be asked fixing that website. Right, let's go on to the May goals. Here we go, Juan. Take us off. Explain all of this to us.
May goals. Okay. Now, as always, I have a overarching kind of goal that I put together for this. So for May, I've written it down as finish my workout strong and enjoy our family Japan trip. So yes, folks, this particular month I am off to Japan.
Woo!
That means that, and here's an interesting one, Kyrin. I'm going to try and do a podcast conversation, the meanderings that we do, while I'm in Japan.
Yeah, I was going to ask.
How will I do that? Well, right now we're using Clean Feed, so I'm going to have my headphones and I'm going to have my phone. So you should be able to have fairly good audio, not maybe as clean and crisp as before, but it should be okay. I reckon we can kind of do this, and I'm getting kind of excited by that. I think we're setting it up now to a almost traveling. We're taking our traveling circles of the Mere Mortals everywhere. So in any case, it's going to be a good, fun month. Once again, I'm taking...
You're taking a laptop?
Here's another little... yes. Oh, no laptop. So that's going to be straight from my phone.
Yeah.
So here's a little caveat for people. I'm starting to work basically last April, and then also March as well beforehand. I actually looked and I only worked 20 days out of the month. And so I'm like, hey, I'm continuing this tradition in the following month, and hey, let's continue on. Maybe I could just start to bring it back down and enjoy a little bit more of life. But May, I've gone, Kyrin would love this, down from 6 goals down to 5 goals. And again, I've another review of this is, I think as time goes on, there's a lot of things that are, from a goal setting perspective or habit forming, kind of just stick around, and so they take up more time, I guess, unless I'm going to do like a cold back. And so the more goals I kind of add, I go, oh, well, I need to add that one. I kind of have to write it down. I'm already doing it, let's just say. Case in point, the French book. I didn't write it in here and like, hey, get on to reading. It's okay, I'm reading it, let's just say 5 days out of a month. I'm not going to rewrite it down. I'm just continuing that on. But again, 5 goals. I split it out into body, mind, and soul. I got 1 for body, 3 for mind, 1 for soul. the body. Complete the Olympic training phase and prepare for the gymnastics plan. Hey, so this is going to be. I wasn't sure if this was going to be the most. Yeah, I wasn't sure if this was going to be the most painful thing or the most enjoyable thing of my year, of my annual goals. So we'll see. But finishing off the Olympic training phase, that'll be really good. Something that I think you might have seen, Kyrin, or maybe you didn't. So I'll save it for meanderings. Find out what happened. Folks over the last
I don't know what you're referring to.
On the meanderings. But I just want to finish that off, and then gymnastics.
Beautiful.
Yeah, you'll love it. It's pretty good. I know my mum knows exactly what I'm talking about.
What are you doing with the gymnastics?
I don't. So I've put it down on the side. So I've put it down on the side here, saying, what will it look like? And I'm gonna make it a little bit open. I posted on our Instagram page, and I asked people just a little bit of give me some. I'm gonna put a little poll of these different ones, but I want to check with you. So of what I could think is do I want it to be pull-ups? Do I want it to be body work, like just more body weight style work? Do I want it to be handstands, or do I want it to be something else? Now, something else could be ring muscle ups. It could be more hollow holds. Let's just say, I'm not sure. I want to focus on like one movement. So when I say gymnastics, it's going to be much shorter than my like 12-week, 8-week plans. Probably going to be 6 weeks to 8 weeks, but I don't know what to focus on. My default is handstands. Like my default's going to be like, okay, I'm going to do handstands and maybe some pull-ups, but I don't know if I'm going to go like really hard at something. I even toyed around with the idea, man. I'd be like, okay, let's just see if I can just beast out 6 weeks of trying a one-handed handstand for whatever purpose it might. Let's just see. I feel like that's a fool's errand, but in any case, I'm not sure. It's the answer right now. So that's prepare for what that's going to be.
So this does actually sound more like calisthenics than gymnastics, because gymnastics is typically more tumbling or using the trampoline or using an apparatus of some sort. So this does sound, yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's a good feedback, actually. Yeah, okay. Maybe I'll have to change it. Yep, I might have changed the wording on that. So not gymnastics, be more calisthenics.
Yeah, I was just imagining you kind of like tumbling around a CrossFit gym. That'd be pretty funny.
Just doing backflips.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that's a good call out on the name. I'm actually changing it as we speak. Cool, but anyways, that's the body one. So looking forward to that. 2, the mind ones. 1, I want to create. So this was an interesting one. Again, one thing that has taught me in doing the podcast is content creation, or at least just creating almost the memories of the things that you put together that you can refer back to. So I want to create a vlog, right? Listen closely. I want to create a vlog for my family for our Japan trip to remember our trip later on. However, and this is a very important piece, not for sharing. This is not it's a vlog for sharing and putting it out on the podcast. No, you're not going to see this. And I think 2 parts. 1, it kind of cuts the mental juggling of, should I do this angle? Should I talk about this? Should I showcase that? No, fuck that. I'm not doing this for anyone, any mere mortal like to see it. It's for my family. And what I mean by a vlog is I just want to record more with video as opposed to photo taking. I know we did this a while back, Kyrin and me, in some locations where we're doing a lot more video taking. And when I go back through my content that I have on my phone, often it's the videos and I'm like, oh man, that was really cool. I'll give you just a little highlight of my day yesterday, Kyrin, because I don't think you knew about it, but it was my partner's birthday, and the day began with nice early morning, good little coffee. Then we did a helicopter ride all around Brisbane, then went out for like a random brunch spot, went off for lunch to a nice fancy restaurant by the water, went to Mr. Percival's and just drank like everything under the sun, came home, lit the fire at home in our living room, had toasted marshmallows. Like it was just a phenomenal day where we kind of went like we were going to spend whatever the fuck we want out of money. And we spent a lot of money. However, I did a lot of videoing of it and it wasn't to share. Some of it got into socials of what I sort of shared, but I'd say probably 1/20th of it. And I'll always go, yeah, I can look back on that and be like, hey, that was a really enjoyable day. And I documented it in the sense that it could be kind of relived in a lot of ways. So yeah, that's what I'm seeking to do in Japan. So at least one a day, I want to try and do some sort of vlog where I kind of record it and share it as well with just my family.
Let's go. Lucas has actually been creating some vlogs, some handstand vlogs. So if you,
I've seen it. I saw Gringo came up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so if you want to check out his, I think his channel's just called Lucas Branco. I'm not actually sure. But yeah, if you want to see me doing some handstands in Brazil, that's the place to go.
That's the way to do it. 3, I want to, as I just talked to you about, and again, this is independent of you, but I need to get it verified by you because it's definitely going to be a sticky thing to get the right thing. I want to start to create a book list or 99 must-read books. Now, this is, it benefits a lot of things. One, it helps me structure some of the thoughts I've had in my mind of doing this, at least for my daughter, Vienna, of, hey, in the future, I want to be like, hey, this is what I consider like the must-read books, right? So, and I want to say, and I wanted to do like a random number, right? 99 of must-read books. I want to just put it down together. I want to share them with you and like me and Morla at home as well, and be like, hey, give your input. Is there any that would get added, subtracted? You know, we've read over 99 books in our time between us. I think I counted just even in my notes of the ones that I've read, and probably close to 99 anyways. But I feel like amalgamating with what the ones that you have read, any others that we have, and putting it together. Anyways, leveraging that, right? Because it's just existing content that we have that could benefit other people. It's something that it's been on a long time to do type of list of mine. So it's a fun thing to do. And I put down, maybe we do 99 because maybe the 100 will be a Mere Mortals book in the future. But that's a laughable thought because they take a lot of effort. 4, again, pretty straightforward one. Just start taxation preparations for the end of the year. Just good bit of effort that needs to be undertaken for that. And last one, I want to be attempting to be double as kind, 3 times minimum in my day-to-day things this particular month with no expected return. So making it a little bit more clear, right? Just when I'm interacting with people, I want to double it up. And only 3 times, right? So it might sound like a low number because sometimes in my day I interact way more, but sometimes I don't. So I want to be really conscious and try to do it early as possible as well, of just be super kind 3 times, like really early, maybe proceeds to the rest of the day. But just something that, again, this is focusing on kindness as an overall annual goal.
I've got a simple suggestion for you as well that'll help with this. So to preempt a story in the meanderings, Lucas, we went to a wedding, and as we were getting the Uber ride home, they've got these things called brigadeiros in Brazil, which are like, they're kind of like bonbons, I guess, like little chocolate things. And Lucas took some from the wedding, and he gave one to the Uber driver. And I was telling him, like, damn, dude, I would never even think to do that. It's just like such a nice, kind little thing, and I bet it made that dude's night. So just having, small little chocolates or something to give out. It's an easy way of doing that as well.
That's cool. I like that. What you thinking? Like carry a few chocolates around with me?
Yeah, box of roses or something.
Chocolates and to hand out.
Yeah. Just not in your pockets.
I mean, it's different. That's cool. Yeah.
One's been sitting on them.
Melted chocolate. Just give it a fucking melt. Yeah, here's my kindness. Just have my leftover chocolate.
It'd be even better if they see you getting it from like out of your back pocket, and they're just like, "This is just some dude's ass chocolate. What the fuck?" Oh, beautiful. All right, thank you.
I like the idea, but perhaps might not be the execution.
Yeah, execution.
Yes, those are the monthly goals for May.
Beautiful. All right, this one's getting pretty long, so I'll try and snap through these. There's just a lot of stuff I've kind of been doing anyway, so it's kind of reaffirming some of the stuff that the good things that I've been doing. So speaking another language is bloody hard, and there are moments where you just, they say something and there's like a line behind you at the I got given a free like lemon juice, and I have no idea why. Imagine going to like a Boost Juice and you order something, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, thanks, and you're just waiting for them to ask you to pay, and they're just like staring at you, and I was like, don't I need to pay? And they're like, no. And so obviously something happened in the conversation which resulted in me not needing to pay, but I have no idea what it was. So I just walked away being like, are these kind of people come after me at any second? Because I'm just like walking away with the free juice. Oh man. But what I have gotten from this is like, okay, you can do the good things, which are transferable in any language. Eye contact, smiling, touching, and don't attempt iffy jokes. So if you're like, this joke, this is kind of like a risque joke, or this joke would require some words I don't know how to use, don't do it. Don't do it, Kyrin, because it kills the joke. It kills any momentum. So if you're gonna say something funny, it has to be how to say it immediately, and then do it. So that's one thing I'm working on. Getting out of the house. Sorry, what do you want to say, Juan? Nothing?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair call. I was going to say hard with the iffy jokes in terms of, how do you know what is going to be an iffy joke and not an iffy joke until you kind of like lay it forward? But
it's
we
more
all have some gut feels of how we think the joke's going to land.
It's more just, can I get this away immediately? If I need to stop and think about it, I shouldn't say it. Another one, get out of the house by 10 a.m. at the latest. So, I was noticing myself just falling into this old pattern of like, all right, I'll just do the stuff in the morning and I'll get this out, and then I'll make sure I'm out by, at midday, and then I'll go out and, actually talk to some people, practice my Portuguese and things like that. And, it just creeps on you until it's like 1 p.m. and you're like, shit, I'm going to go training in like 2 hours. There's no point even going out. And for whatever, the reason was Lucas came over here and then he was going to the shops, and it was like, it will save me a 5-minute walk if I just get a lift with him. So I went at like 10 a.m. and it was just great, man. I had a fantastic time, met a whole bunch of people, just like, random store clerks, random girls, random guys, just trying to talk to tons of people. And I had a really good day. So I've been trying to replicate that of just like, get out of here by 10 a.m. and get out of the house. And then if I want to do stuff later, I can do that in the evening or whatnot. But that's trying to do that. Third one, so this is related to like the improving the podcasting. Just try and survive, to be honest. Try and like make these semi-acceptable. And then a couple of other podcasters have reached out and said like if I wanted to be on their shows, and the last 2 weeks I've just been like, nah. But I think I'm ready for that now, so I'll reach out to them for the handstands and stuff. There's this guy called Coach Bachman. Juan, if you want to see a very decent one-arm handstander guy, and who's just very different body shape perhaps than you'll see. He's kind of like short and squat. Honestly, he's what I imagine your body shape would look like if you had not got into like powerlifting and gym and done handstands instead. That's what you would look like. This dude. He's a little tank.
Wow. Okay.
And he's got some really.
I'm just bringing him up now as well, just to have a bit of a look.
Yeah, he might not even be that little. It's kind of hard to tell with these people. I think he is. But yeah, he's got some really great one-arm videos that I haven't watched. And he's kind of got like a podcast talking about all the nerdy, detailed stuff. So I want to get that. And then Push Harder, which is a program from the Handstand Factory guys, Mikhail and Emmett, who have appeared on the Mere Mortals before. I want to go over that again. So my one arms are getting...
I was going to ask you a quick question.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask you a quick question about the handstand stuff, just because I've clicked onto his, right, and seeing the Coach Bachman vids and whatnot. Would you ever consider doing your own program of handstand stuff?
Yeah, for other people to follow, I would have said this as an immediate no, probably a couple of years ago, because I've been toying with the idea of trying out, becoming like a yoga teacher, for example, just seeing like if I would enjoy that, maybe, but it's 20%, 18% chance of that ever happening.
Good. Okay. Cool.
Okay. In the evenings, I've been kind of screwing around a bit, but I have been watching a lot of football, and Optus is actually blocked here. Don't know if you knew this, but if you go to another country and you're using an IP, so I can see like I can't see the highlights of games. I can see the commentary or upcoming match previews and things like that, but I can't actually see highlights. which I used to watch. And so to do that, I have to go to ESPN Brazil, and man, they are much better announcers, man. You'd think you've seen that, like, the goal. I used to hate that, but it's growing on me. It is growing on me. So and it has actually, like, somewhat improving Portuguese in the sense, like, I can now talk about football much better after watching watching some of those highlights and stuff. So only Portuguese entertainment or useful videos in the evening, like podcasts, which I would actually enjoy. Doesn't have to be in Portuguese, but like just not fuck around stuff, Want to research some places, events that could be amazing. As I mentioned, I haven't done much actual research on Brazil of, things that are really worth doing, or which would perhaps be, once in a lifetime chance type things. So I really should do that whilst I'm here, because I wouldn't want to miss something that's just 3 hours down the road. One of these things is Foz do Iguaçu. I had the chance of doing that when I was in Argentina. It was a big trip to get there. And that kind of put me off. It's a smaller trip at this moment. It's still probably like 9 hours by bus or flying there. I think there's a mini airport there, so it is possible. I just have to decide, like, is it worth spending 2 days essentially trying to do that. But maybe that's something that would be worth it. I'm reading this book at the moment called The Tyranny of Words by Stuart Chase, and it's all about semantics. Mm-hmm. I would have hated this book, once again, a couple of years ago. Kyrin has changed a lot in the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, I would have been like, I don't know about this. But he starts it off by being like, I tried to read philosophy, and it was garbage. I didn't understand what these people were talking about. Some of it comes across as poetical, and just like his explanation of words and language and communication made me go like, this guy's experience is very similar to mine. He gets it, or he gets me at least. And one of the things he talks about in this book is just a lot of people talk, and you'll notice this especially with kind of politics and very heated, controversial things. They talk about these abstract notions. What is capitalism? And it's like this. It's so abstracted that it's not even useful. And so basically he advocates for using simplified language and less abstract words. And I think that's something. There's been a couple of times
I like that.
We've had podcast episodes where we've talked about an abstract topic, and I've come away from it being like, man, I don't really know what just got said. That was I was talking, but I wasn't 100% confident of what I was saying then. So I definitely want to do that as less as possible. And last one here, make the effort to ask about classes. And that's just related to like yoga, dancing, things like that.
Yeah, I was going to say quickly on the simplifying language. I think, similarly, reflects back on the fact that we created mere mortals because we wanted to be a little bit more simplified. Yes, similar topics and conversations, but in more simplified, more understandable terms. So, yeah, I totally agree on that.
Or it can be a hard topic, but, there's no reason that you can't talk about, something that is complex, but you don't need to make it complex with really shitty language. And man, if you want shitty language, try reading. It's called Simulacra and Simulation. It's by it's this French guy with a ridiculous name, Jean Bouchardouze, something like that. And it's kind of famous because for a couple of reasons. One, the directors of The Matrix made every actor or anyone who worked on it read this book beforehand. And two, it's kind of like one of the classics of postmodernism, if you've ever heard that word before. And what absolute gibberish! What a terrible writing style! I made through 22% of the book, I think, is what my Kindle said, and I just went. I looked at a video, an explainer video afterwards, and I was like, okay, I kind of see what they wrote and how this corresponds to what they're explaining in this video, which was explaining it in simple terms. But it was the points themselves, I don't feel were less impactful because they were explained simply. They seem like still really valid, interesting points, but and you know, the Matrix as a movie is a fantastic movie because it kind of gets to the heart of some of the points that the guy made in this book, but he fucked it up by ruining it with just absolutely awful postmodernism language, which makes no sense, and anyone who claims that they understand it is full of BS in my opinion. But there we go, making some enemies.
I'd almost term it as in, this is just a common thing, right? If you can't explain it, if you can't explain something in a very easy to understand, easily digestible way, then I would challenge that you do not know it well enough.
Yeah, something like that. Or I would hazard to believe that these people knew what they were talking about. They knew it deeply, but they decided to this person knew what he's talking about, but decided to put it in fancy language to make, you know, intellectuals like to do this. There's a lot of word salads out there. So yeah, that's all of my goals there. So I actually have some goals for this month to keep me on track and be doing and looking at things. The last little section we had here was just fitness one. How's your fitness been going?
Good. I will get into in the meanderings a very interesting thing that happened. And
okay.
Maybe some
good.
Yeah, story and some learnings for people to take away. But the training has been good nonetheless anyway. So yeah, that's been good. How have your handstands continued to come along and training in general?
Amazing. Body's been feeling excellent. I've been having very, very little wrist pain. I'm doing 4 days a week of one arm work, like pretty intense one arm work. I'm getting much closer. Feel like I'm doing. Everything's just been going great. I've even ticked off. It's the problem with these images I'm putting on the screen is like it's capturing everything, but you kind of need to capture everything to see what I'm talking about. But it's too detailed, so you can't really see that much. Basically, I've been ticking off like a lot of these exercises that I wanted to do over the last couple of years. So these would include things like doing a pike handstand with my eyes closed, pike handstand with in a head-in position, so kind of like looking up at my own knees, of doing some other eyes closed stuff. Like I've just been ticking off all of these things, and yeah, it's been great, man. I've been really enjoying myself, and I have already, as of this year, and I'm just over halfway through my yearly goals. I'm already almost double the amount of points I got in this scoring system than I did of 2022 2023. So yeah, feeling good, feeling really good.
Smashing it.
Yeah, brilliant. All right, this gets us on to our last section here, which is just value for value. If you've enjoyed the show, if you want to help support us, there are 3 different ways you can do that: time, talent, and treasure. Time, sharing the show with someone who would enjoy it, letting us have some more reach in that organic word of mouth way. If you want to create a clip or something like that as well, that's also really appreciated. And doing it on a place like Fountain, the podcast app, is great because that is much more shareable on that platform. You can also do it through talent, letting us know what your monthly goals are. We would love to know what you're focusing on, what you think we could be focusing on, or any topics that we've talked about, anything that has sparked your attention. We love to know that. What do you think of the front page of our website? If you are a graphic designer, if you are a web person who can make things look pretty and have any suggestions, we would love to know that for sure. And then treasure, this is where you can send in some support to the show, because this is a value for value show. We do all of this upfront value for you and just ask that you return it in whatever way that you can. If you want to do it with some treasure, we particularly like it when you do it through a boostergram, which is when you can send this support directly within a podcasting app and attach a message to it at the same time, if you want or not. We record all of these. We shout these out in the episodes coming up. So there'll be one coming up shortly of a meanderings. And to do this, probably the easiest way is go to meremortalspodcast.com/support. I've got a video on there. I've got some links to these different apps where you can do this. And if you send it in, get split up equally between myself, Juan, a group, a little, what would you call it, like a group account that we have, and some of the developers and other people who makes all this stuff work. So that's it for today. Thank you very much, everyone. Juan, take us out.
Thank you very much for tuning in and for playing around with this new format that we have. It will continue to be better, and it is going to be done so with your support. Folks, for now, we'll leave it there. Mere mortal lights, be well wherever you are. Juan out.
Kyrin out. Bye.